Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the April edition of the Greater Washington Ceili Club's virtual Ceili concert series. I'm Doug Ill, GWCC's Ceili and concert organizer, and as usual, I'll be facilitating the show from my basement in Silver Spring, Maryland. Tonight's program will feature tunes from Laura Byrne and Billy McComiskey, as well as two figures of the Caledonian Set specially modified for solo dancers, called by Anne-Marie Breheny and danced on camera by Kathryn and Jack Murphy. I hope you'll join us for a dance. Remember, no one can see you dancing, so why not kick up your heels with us? Before we begin, GWCC President Bridget Curran has a few words to say.
Hello and welcome. We're very happy to have you with us here this evening. I'm continuing our discussion about some of the ideas that GWCC has had to stay connected with you, our members and friends. We're continuing our virtual Ceili concert series, thanks to Doug for working on that every month. We're also continuing with our virtual book club. We've read 4 books so far, and we're reading our 5th. And our virtual happy hour will be on May 7th, so join us for a little bit of fun. As always, check our website for updates, and any and all ideas that you may have to stay connected with us can be sent to GWCC_membership-04@yahoo.com. During tonight's concert, you may see a link to PayPal, and while we're paying our wonderful musicians, any donations you would like to make to our organization would be gratefully appreciated. It is a special treat tonight to welcome to the virtual Ceili concert series 2 musicians from the Baltimore, Washington area who have quietly and consistently contributed to Irish culture and the Irish music scene. Laura Byrne and Billy McComiskey have been playing flute and accordion, respectively, and Laura has had a meandering journey to Irish music, but Billy's journey was direct and unwavering from the beginning. GWCC has known both Laura and Billy for many years. They have played at many of our events, and our dancers have had a great time. In fact, they're so ingrained with GWCC that several of our members have taken lessons from them, either privately or at Mad Week, where they are both very popular. It is in listening to them at the faculty concerts of Mad Week and other venues where one can gain an appreciation for the work completed to become experts in their craft, as evidenced by their many awards and CDs. I'm sure that Laura and Billy will continue to contribute to Irish culture and Irish music for many years. Join us tonight as we explore the music of Ireland with 2 very talented, award-winning musicians who have agreed to share their gifts with us. Listening to their music is like coming home, and we're very happy to have them with us.
Oh, thank you.
We can just go right into these, right?
I think so. Oh,
So-
there's the cat. Hi, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.
No. They were two reels that were written by a great flute player. Was he from County Roscommon, I think?
Leitrim or Roscommon?
He was up around the border there. His name was Joseph McDermott, and he was just the nicest man. And if you follow flute music, like the opening track on Matt Malloy's brilliant solo recording started with that first tune of Joseph McDermott. So he didn't, and he just, what, the trip, is it the trip to Birmingham?
The trip to Birmingham,
The trip
and then the Baltimore Salute.
Yeah, and he actually came to Baltimore. He came out to Philadelphia to play at the Irish Festival up in Philadelphia, and then he just came down. A friend from Philadelphia asked if he could just come down and stay for a couple of days, and he did. And he actually played at one of the very earliest Baltimore Irish folk festivals, right down to the center of town there. It was a pretty interesting thing. And I gave him a lift back to Philadelphia, and when he was getting out of the car, he handed me a piece of paper and he says, "This is for you and for all the people in Baltimore for your hospitality." So that's it, and it's the Baltimore Salute. So that's just a great tune. We're just delighted to play that for you. And there was a fella in Boston, I believe he was, I think he was from Galway, Brendan Tonra, another tunesmith, just a great player. We'll play two jigs of his for you. Now, is that right?
Yeah.
Right.
do.
So we can play these couple of hornpipes, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I learned from a lovely player by the name of Sean McGlenn. A lot of the folks in Washington and even in Baltimore would have maybe have met him. He came down every once in a while. He actually, the first time he played in Washington was in 1976 at the Bicentennial Folk Festival. It was an interesting week too. There was a junior Korean, the great fiddle player was that Michael Flatley. You might have heard of Michael Flatley, a dancer, I think he is, isn't he? And there was an awful lot of great players. I actually got to play at it with my old friend Brendan Mulvihill too, so it was great. It was the first time that Sean McGlenn came down to Washington and played a few tunes, and it was just great. But before that actually happened, he did Mick Maloney, the folklorist, great folklorist, actually did field recordings for Irish music on the East Coast, and he just went around with a tape recorder to families and stopped at people's houses and recorded in their kitchen. And he actually recorded Sean playing these two hornpipes that were written by the great Paddy O'Brien from Neenah, County Tipperary. He would be the guy, the man, the gentleman actually, that kind of introduced a style and a technique to playing the BC Palace sopranos. And they sit pretty nice on the flute,
They're
don't
great
they?
on the flute. I love these
on
two.
the flute.
Play an O'Carolan's draft for you next, and then after that we're going to have the dancers out for the Caledonian Set after this next one. This will be O'Carolan's draft, and I believe the draft is in reference to a pint of beer, correct?
Yeah, that could
Is
be.
that right?
And O'Caroline's music actually first started appearing in the O'Farrell collection. We'll be playing another tune from the O'Farrell collection. So he was actually playing in and around at the, if you drive around in Ireland, you see the ruins of these little castles, and that was kind of his job. He was blind, but he went around. He traveled all over Ireland, playing concerts in these castles and concert halls. But nobody ever, they didn't do a collection of his music till after he was gone, and he ended up in this O'Farrell collection. So he's the real thing. He's probably the father. That's why Irish music sounds the way it sounds.
I was first attracted to Irish music coming from the classical background,
Yeah.
formerly by the O'Carolan music. So
Where did you study? At
Peabody,
you were at Peabody.
Conservatory.
So you were a classical flautist, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And something went terribly wrong, and here she is.
All that money and time at the conservatory, but here we are. So I think it's time for the Caledonian Set with some reels here.
Yes, I believe it is. And I know I, for one, am grateful that Laura made the crossover from classical to Irish, because I love dancing when she's playing. So we're going to do two figures of the Caledonian. The first one, we're going to dance to reels. Advance and retire twice to start. If you are lucky enough to be dancing with more than one other person, you don't need to stay distant from. You can advance and retire in a circle. After that, dance at home for 8 bars, and then this is the third figure of the Caledonian. So advance and retire, dance at home, advance and retire, dance across. From the other side of the set, advance and retire, dance at home, advance and retire, dance across, back to where you started. When you get back there, dance at home, and then house around to finish. So we're going to have live dancers to help show it for you and put the musicians back on.
This real square.
Oh.
Hold on. Dun, da, 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 da.
Advance and retire. Again. And dance at home. Advance and retire. Dance at home. Advance and retire. Dance across. Advance and retire. Dance at home. Advance and retire. And dance across. Dance at home. And now we're going to house to finish. House. And we'll do one more. We're going to switch it over to jigs. We're going to start the same way, advance and retire twice, and then dance at home. And then we're going to house around. And normally we would change partners, but instead of changing partners, you're going to hold right hand and right and just turn the lady in place for 8 bars, and then house around again. Then we'll dance at home, and we'll repeat the whole figure. House around, turn the lady, house around. Then dance at home one last time and house to finish. So we talked about how we're a little rusty. If you're a little rusty, this is a great one to work out the rust on all that housing around. We're going to be dancing to jigs this time.
Any musicians out there too might want to play along with this one too.
And maybe we can go into the Jimmy Wards. We'll see.
Okay.
Advance. Retire. Again. Dance at home. Turn the lady. And house. Dance at home. House. Turn the lady. House. Dance at home. And we're gonna house to finish. House. That was great. Thank you, Kathryn and Jack, and thanks for those great dance tunes, Laura and Billy.
That's great. It's lovely to play for a
great.
few dancers, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
I miss that now, so I'm getting all touched here.
We missed everybody. I keep seeing like some comments. Tina Eck and John Kerr and I think Janine. And my mom, hi Mom, and Annie, of course. So thank you everybody for watching. And we really are looking forward to getting back out there haven't been playing as much, so this is fantastic.
Yeah, this is good. And we did get our shots, so we're not, we're not worried about masks today. So, but be very careful with that. I've been sitting here. I've been trying to think of a nice solo to play for you, and I'm coming up kind of. I thought I would play a couple of jigs, but I forgot to just play them. So I'll play you this little waltz. I'll just play through maybe once or twice. And I learned it from Sean McGlenn, and I have a sneaking suspicion that he learned it from a man named. No, I'll think of it. I just had it there. Okay. I'm thinking of Jimmy Wars, but he's the man with the jig, right? I'll think of it after a minute, or maybe you can call me later and I'll tell you. So the lovely thing about it was, Sean used to call it the Italian waltz, and it kind of sounds sort of like what you would think if you were growing up in East Galway. Anyway, it kind of sounds like what you would think an Italian waltz would sound like. Evidently, I don't think it sounds anything like an Italian waltz. But the funny thing is, the first part of it is kind of the theme for a lot of different waltzes that turn up all along on either side of the Atlantic. So it was kind of, it could be popular in Italy. You got me. I think Donna Long was saying that she heard a Brazilian musician playing it. I used to play with Zan McLeod down there, and he had an awful lot of beautiful chords going on. So it was very trying to keep up on him. So if there's any mistakes, there's nothing new there.
so beautiful. I don't know if you saw that. But I think she meant the accordion playing.
I got to play a concert over in Clare not too long
John
ago,
Tapp.
and my there you go, John, and my cousin John Sweeney, God rest his soul, he was there at the concert, and I was trying to get through without making any mistakes, but I didn't. I made a couple of mistakes. So when we were done, I said to him, John, did you hear any mistakes in there? And he goes, two. So there you go.
Too.
So what do we have next year?
Why don't we play the two reels? These are my favorites of Billy's tunes. He wrote them in another key, but Kevin Crawford fixed that.
Oh, yeah, his brother actually,
Kevin's brother is the one who did.
Kevin, P.J. Here you go. P.J. Hernan's brother, Marcus Hernan, had come over on a Kiltus tour. And I never got to thank him. He went back. I think he might have had a copy of Making the Rounds, which sold by the hundreds, by the way. It's a big seller. and he brought. I guess he brought it back, and he kind of took the tunes and kind of helped doctor them a little bit. They sounded about the same, but in different pitches. And next thing, Kevin Crawford was telling me they were playing them. Not all over, by the thousands. They got played, so it's a nice thing that happened. So one of these days I want to just get over there with PJ and his brother and just maybe have a tune. They're Connemara fellas. Yeah.
So the Flower of Brooklyn.
The Flower of Brooklyn, yeah.
And that's named.
And that's for my sister Anne, and it was in the Irish Wakes when they would immigrate to America. So my sister Anne went from Brooklyn back to she moved to Dublin to be married, to Ger Byrne, my brother-in-law, great guy. The whole Byrne family is a great family. One of their relatives is working on a cure for COVID too, so on the vaccine and stuff. So it's a really great bunch of people. And there was a gentleman there named Pat Murray, a lovely box player, and he said, well, let's have a toast to Anne, the Flower of Brooklyn.
And the palm tree is after it. Okay.
And the palm tree, I was out in Los Angeles, board stiff, and wrote the palm tree. So. That's the first. The palm tree's the first.
time to fit in maybe I could do a slow air. If it's
Yeah.
there's one that's not too. Just was in the mood to play something too lament-like, so I think the Mountain Streams of the Moorcock's Crow is a great one
Lovely.
that's been recorded. It's a song a lot, so I just decided to play it on the flute a few years back. So this is the Mountain Streams of the Moorcock's Crow.
Very nice.
So we are in my living room right now. So you may have heard some cats. The dogs are outside, so. Doug said it would be okay to have a little bit of animal interference, but we have two very young Labradors, so we're gonna just not go there. So we can play a couple of waltzes for you now if anybody wants to dance. There's a great, and oh, thank you.
We got all the dance now already?
Well, if anyone wants to dance a waltz, we're going to play a couple of waltzes for you now. This first one was written by Billy. Yeah, it's called The Diamonds.
And I had the pure nerve to pair it with a tune that Charlotte O'Carrollin wrote, so there you go. Which one is, that's Fanny Power, right?
Yeah.
So let's see, I guess we have about 20
Yeah, we
minutes.
have about 20 minutes before the Oscars. Thank you for joining us. I feel like we're opening for the Academy Awards
Yeah.
tonight, right?
Yeah, there you go. It's pretty cool. Are they live? Or
It's being streamed live at 8
okay, yeah.
when we finish.
It's sensible.
Awesome.
That was so great.
So, yeah, I guess into this,
Can we
This-
should we do, we could do another couple of jigs if,
yeah.
all right, I really like those two old, there was a tune that, Brendan Dolan, our friend and colleague, he was studying for his doctorate in music, kind of focused in Irish music, and he decided to do a study on O'Neill's book, which came out of Chicago. I think it was like 1902 or something, right around the turn of the century. This Captain O'Neill was a really, really hard-working man, and as I was growing up, when I finally learned how to read music, people would be saying, well, it's good that he made the book, it's a shame he got the tunes all wrong, the tunes are all wrong in the book. And so that was Brendan Dolan's study. Did he get the tunes wrong? And he actually found the fiddle player that contributed this next jig, Banish Misfortune. He found a picture of him with all the other contributors out in Chicago, and he actually found a cylinder wax recording of him playing it. And if you're familiar, you'll know that Banish Misfortune as soon as you hear it, if you follow the music. The Chieftains recorded, everybody plays it. It's a great old tune. That's how we're going to play it. But if you heard this wax cylinder recording, you would be, holy mackerel. And what Brendan managed to prove is that Irish music is alive and well, and over that century, the tune had completely evolved into this other completely different setting. And that's kind of what happened with all the tunes in the book. And so Captain O'Neill might have been one of the people that kept Irish music alive for all of us now. And the second tune is even older than that. It's one Helvic Head, and it goes back to the O'Farrell collection. And O'Farrell was a piper, and he performed in London, and he got all the musicians from in and around there. O'Callaghan's music actually made it to the O'Farrell collection, and so he got all these players to contribute to his book, and I love the name of it: Music from Ireland, England, Scotland, and Wales. So it's just a lovely thing, and it is kind of all the Irish, Scottish, even the music all over England. It's all really, really closely related. So we only have about 10 minutes left, so I won't talk anymore. You can talk.
There's no more time for me to talk.
you can see how Irish music managed to survive with everything. I mean, with everything going on in that country, and they still had time to make this really great music. So we actually got to play. We'll finish with these last two reels here. We have about 5 minutes, and I don't know.
Yeah, thank you for thank you so much for GWCC for
Yeah.
hosting this every month and keeping it going during the pandemic. It's awesome, and thanks Doug, Bill, and Bridget, and everybody else.
Yeah, everybody. My friend and student Peter Bryce is in the next performance with a bunch of really good players. The standard has gotten very high in this area, in the Baltimore, Washington, D.C., Northern Virginia, this whole area. There's sessions kind of all over the place now. You can go up to Frederick and enjoy a few tunes there. The Irish inmates are really keeping things alive down right there at Glen Echo. So we're really lucky. So we'll finish with these two reels, and we actually got to play them at the Smithsonian Folklife Festival. Was it about 5 years ago now?
5 or 6,
Yeah. And we had a great time down there. The person that two people brought myself and Brendan Mulvihill and Andy O'Brien down to Washington. As far as I know, I think there might have been Irish sing-along type bits of music, but I don't think there was a whole lot of this Irish traditional music. I think I'm not sure. I can't say for sure. When we came down, there were there were 4 players here. Lou Thompson, Peggy Reardon, Jesse Winch, and Terry Winch. 2 more, my bros from New York. I guess they're kind of from the Bronx, but us Brooklyn guys, we won't hold that against them. They're very good friends. So that was kind of it, and that was kind of all over the place. It was this great thing that happened. And Peggy Reardon played the fiddle, and Lou Thompson played the accordion, and Brendan Mulvihill took it upon him. This was years ago when they came down back in the 70s, and Brendan Mulvihill took it upon himself to write a reel called Jack Reardon's for Peggy's father. And as soon as I heard it, I thought, geez, I told him, I said, I love that reel. I said, would you mind if, what about that one that Johnny McGreevy, the setting of Johnny McGreevy, I think it's Boil the Breakfast Early. And he goes, yeah, we were out in Dublin, Ohio, just having a couple of tunes with Zan McLeod, and that was the first time that we actually played this set of music. But I kind of think that the highlight for me would have been at that Smithsonian Folklife Festival. That was all the great friends that were there. It was really good. So okay, let me see.
So I think we've just enough time to say goodnight, and then we'll play this last set for you. Thanks again for everybody, and thank you, Billy, for coming out.
And thank you, Laura, for setting up. You should see this room. It's like very high tech.
About this, yeah.
right. Well, thank you very much. That was
Thanks,
awesome.
everybody.
So thanks everyone for joining us tonight, and of course a huge thank you to Laura and Billy for the great tunes, and to Anne Marie for the calling, and our featured dancers, Kathryn and Jack Murphy. And I'd also like to invite you to please join us for our next concert, which will be on May 23rd at 7 p.m. featuring Sam Suppley and Peter Bryce. It's going to be another great one, so we hope to see you then. Thanks again, and good night, everyone.